All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sundae Sermon, a celebration of Black folks. My name is Mikayla Weary. I use she, her pronouns, and I am so excited to be here. I am a 17-year-old Black business owner of Black Coffee Northwest, a co-founder of Black Lives Matter Shoreline, and a community activist. We are here to celebrate Black folks in this 6-part virtual series. Today, we are specifically celebrating Black activism. Sundae Sermon is a partnership between Washington State Parks and Golden Brick Events with additional support from our generous sponsors, Seattle Abudan, Washington State Parks Foundation, the Washington Wilderness Society, Washington Trail Society, National Endowment for the Arts, Conservation Northwest, and For Culture. Drop in the comment section where you are watching this from, and we're going to get started. Today, we are celebrating activism, but we are also celebrating Washington State parks. If you are able to get out to a park, make sure to do so responsibly. Also, don't forget your Discover Pass. If you don't have one, Washington State has a number of free parks days in which you don't need a Discover Pass. Their next free park day is September 26th for the National Public Lands Day. We also know that cost can be a barrier when there is no free day. So after every Sunday sermon, we are going to give away one Discover Pass. So tell us what you thought of the event and be entered into a chance to win a pass. The survey link will be shared at the end. So let's get this program started with the segment about No Child Left Inside. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Melinda Posner. I work for Washington State Parks. I'm a parks planner. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about NCLI, No Child Left Inside. This program has provided opportunities to hundreds of kids to get outside, walk on the beach, or climb a mountain, maybe for the very first time. The No Child Left Inside program is all about getting kids outdoors. The purpose is to serve underserved youth, providing quality opportunities to experience the natural world. And in addition to the great health and well-being benefits of being outdoors, this program offers an opportunity for kids to be exposed to mentors, learn leadership skills, to develop a stewardship ethic, which will protect our public lands well into the future. We know that it's even more necessary because of the pandemic and the inability for many kids to continue to go to school regularly, continue in any of the outdoor programs that they might have engaged in.
Hi, I'm Sheila Wilson. I work for the Nisqually River Foundation and I run the Nisqually River Education Project. And we normally do a lot of environmental education, and we were really excited to have a chance to work with the No Child Left Inside program, which gave us a chance to really focus on the Nisqually tribal youth and getting them outdoors to connect with their natural resources. Our grant project was serving two audiences. We were working with the students at the Wahilut Indian School and then also partnering with the Nisqually Tribes Youth Center to work with their summer camp and their spring break camps and their winter camps. So we focused a lot of it around salmon. We had a salmon camp that ran over the summer last year. We took the kids whitewater rafting. We took the students from Wahilut up to Mount Rainier for camping and hiking, and introduced them to horseback riding. And we took we went snowshoeing at Mount Rainier. That was really fun. Just really had a great time getting these kids outdoors and exploring their watershed.
Hi, my name is Ani. Last year I got to be a part of the Nisqually Tribal Youth Explore and Connect.
My name is Annie, and I'm part of the Nisqually Tribal Youth Explore and Connect.
We went rafting.
What's that?
We went rafting.
We went rafting.
That was fun.
So much fun.
When we went down the rapids, we got splashed many times. So fun.
Oh, that was fun because we went because there was lots of rapids, and like Ani, my brother said, me and my cousin Riley jumped off the raft, and we were just hanging, dangling from the raft into the water.
Elder Lake was fun. We had we could walk across like the lake because there's like clay on the bottom, and we only go like this deep. Oh yeah, we had a clay fight too.
Oh, okay. So tell me about the clay fight.
Oh, we just like throw like clay at each other. It was so fun. And we like covered all of, and we like just got dirty, just got like muddy and stuff. I put on my face.
Oh, the horseback riding. The horseback riding was fun because we each had our separate horses. Again, Ani's horse was Romeo and my horse was Star. Star was actually very hard to control, but she was the best because I just got used to riding him while Ani got used to riding Romeo.
To go swimming?
Yes, I want to go swimming.
Let's go swimming.
Yes. I still have the mic.
We'll take that off first.
So normally when we connect with kids, it's to teach them things, to teach them about the biology of the salmon, the ecology of the forests that are important to the salmon, and the wildlife and how to monitor them and how to collect data. This program is really unique in that it's just wanting kids to get outside and have fun. And really, is there any better way to inspire stewardship of our natural resources than to really just connect kids with them and allow them to explore them naturally and just get those physical and mental and emotional benefits from the natural world. Getting the feedback from the parents about how meaningful it was to their children to be involved was very powerful. In particular, seeing these kids with the horses, connecting with animals is such a unique opportunity for kids.
Eligible activities in the program are just about anything you can think of, from recreation, environmental education, studying climate, studying ecological systems and changes, to simply getting outdoors and camping, eating and singing around the campfire, and hanging out with your friends. Agencies can apply, public agencies, tribes, school districts and teachers, nonprofit organizations. It is a program that's suited to a diversity of organizations, and it's one of very few grant programs that actually will fund staffing as well as transportation and supplies, and some of those basics. The database opened for applications just 2 weeks ago, and applications will be due November 1st. The details, there's a lot more information that can be found on our website, and you follow the link to find out all the details about applying for the program this year, including the criteria. One of those criteria is whether you're going to base your program in a state parks or at another public landscape. And that's something we're really interested in partnering with you about. If you want to base your program that's ready to go in a state park, we're happy to talk with you about that, or work with you to develop a program and design it with you and host at a state park. I think of all the No Child Left Inside program participants and the many, many diverse landscapes and experiences that they can have in Washington State. I mean, whether they're at a state park or they're programming and within their own private landscape, this state is so diverse. It offers so much for people to see and experience, from the geology and the arid desert lands in eastern Washington to the coast, and all of the wildlife and diversity of plant species. It's just awesome.
All right, thank you, Sharon. That is such a cool program. It's great that the youth are given a space to reconnect with the outdoors. We should celebrate, applications are due November 4th. So get that down, because that looks like a great, great program. We should celebrate activism because when activists speak their truth, others can learn things that they had never gone through and that they can change the world. And that's a pretty good deal. So now it's time for our youth panel to come in. So youth panel, We have Sadella Dean and we have Kaylin Jordan. Really close activists of mine. And first off, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves, your name, grade, and what activism activities have you been a part of?
My name is Kaylin Jordan. I'm in 8th grade at Kellogg Middle School. And this summer I have taken part of attending marches and rallies and organizing 2 of my own.
Great. Great. Yep. Sadella?
Hi, my name is Sadella Dean, and I go to Kellogg Middle School. I am 11 years old, and I have been going to rallies, and also I am the president of Black Coffee Northwest. So,
Yep. Thank you guys so much. Look at these young, beautiful Black women who are just changing the game at this young age. So today we are celebrating activism. So I have a few questions. The first question for y'all is, why do you think activism is needed in your community? So your school, your neighborhood, where you hang out, why is it so important that activists do their work?
I think it's important because, there's no one really else to do it. Usually adults tell us to just get over it and get used to it, and that we have to deal with what we're given, and that they don't usually have faith in us for what we can do in our communities or schools.
Right on. Yep. Sadella? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah.
I think it's important because a lot of the time I get me or a lot of my friends get put down when we're trying to say things that should be said, or like speaking out and asking a lot of questions. I get put down a lot, and I feel like I shouldn't get put down, and the community needs someone, um, needs people like us to say things and ask questions and be activists around the community.
Exactly. Yep. So what Sadella said is that the community needs people. And again, I'm so glad to know these 2 young ladies because they have been doing a lot in the North End, which if you are from Seattle, you know where the North End is. It's like mini Europe out there. It's really white. So, but these 2 young ladies have been advocating for the really small Black community out there and making sure that even though they are the majority out there, we still have a voice and we still need representation. And so that's what they've been doing. And so, yeah, so that great way to answer, ladies. Second question, as activists, what are ways that people can advocate for their community, big or small? So you guys have done it like big by holding your guys' own protests and, becoming a president of a Black-owned coffee shop and, just doing your own big things. But for those who are like questioning themselves, how can they do things in the community, big or small?
Listening to their Black neighbors or their community and just ask how they can help if they want to start small.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, you need to ask questions, ask your Black peers, ask your community what they can do to help, like if there's a protest going on, should they do like a small thing like gather to make signs, or like ask questions to your Black peers on what you can do to help them when when this is happening in the community.
All right. All right. Well, it was very great to talk to them about this, and they had a lot to say. So thank you guys so much, ladies. All right. So another person using their voice during this uprising is Elisha. So let's go out to the park. Take it away.
My name is Elisha. I'm a musician, an activist, a Black activist, And I got started in music from a very young age 4. Just grew up doing music. When I was young, my family, my parents put us in a lot of different activities after school and such, and that's what called out to me the most, and I found comfort in sound. And I later discovered, being recently, that I experience the world the most through sound, and it's comforting, and it's gotten me through a lot of tough times in my life. Alright, this song is called Autumn Come, and it is a song that I wrote about change and turning a page and embracing a new part of life after going through something rough. So this is Autumn Come. Autumn come, oh, leaves fall down on me. I waited so very long for the changes in the breeze. Autumn come, autumn come, oh, autumn come, autumn come, oh, autumn come. Summer days melt away. I am blanketed in shade. Lingering still is this warmness inside. Dun dun da da dun. Aromas in the air of familiarity encircle me. This is where I want to be now, right now, right now. Closing my eyes, I see with the heart inside. Oh, and I know, at last I know that I am home. I come from a musical family. Yeah, my parents sing. My mom used to be in a band in Seattle, I think. And my siblings play instruments as well. So, yeah. So I play a lot of different instruments. I'm the kind of person who sees an instrument and I'm like, oh, I want to play that, I want to play this, and I just want to play them all. And so I started out actually playing piano at age 4, and I didn't continue doing that. My parents took us out of that because reasons. And I sang in choir at school through elementary, and when I was 10, I started teaching myself guitar. My older sister actually played guitar, and she inspired me. She would just play music, and I thought she was like the most magical queen in the world, and I wanted to do that. And so I asked for a guitar, and I just picked it up, and that's been, 13 years, yeah. And in middle school I started playing trumpet, so I played brass wind from middle school through high school, through college actually. Trumpet, euphonium, a little bit of tuba, and then I started playing drums, anything. I love instruments, and any instrument that I see, I'm going to try to play it. Yeah. Okay, this next song is titled TV Girl, and I wrote it about hard times. This is from my EP titled Blue. keep looking at me, waiting for something to change. I keep calling my name, but you're doing it all in vain. Where is your brain? It's such a shame, yeah. Well, I was your TV girl, laughed at me while I played your fool. Press my buttons on you, don't like what you see. Till one day I just blew, and I swear you ain't getting nothing out of me. You keep telling me something's wrong, but tell me, when was it ever right? I don't wanna talk about it, I'm really just not down to fight. Throw me on, I wanna change the game, I made the same mistake again. Giving you another chance, another shot at me, I just let you get the best of me. Now I swear you ain't getting nothing out of me. Da di da 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 di da 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 za da da di da di da di da. So dream on and reminisce. Now what the hell are you gonna do? 'Cause when I was your TV girl, all you did was do abuse. And now what's your excuse? Was it for your health? I don't really care, go love yourself. Yeah. That was TV Girl.
Hey, this next song is called Promise. I wrote it at the beginning of, I would say, this new wave of the revolution. When COVID started, I thought I had lost inspiration for writing and just discovering new things musically at that time. And then when this uprising started happening, it came to me and I knew that there was something to be sung. So this is Promise.
I stand and wonder, when will I see the right that was promised to me? Louder than the sounds of words that fall from my lips is the melanin in my skin, my God-given gift. The blood that pumps strongly through these veins carries the story of my grandmother's mother's pain. Not long ago, in tears and heartache, she paid, praying and hoping that I might see a better day. Institutions, you fed us with lies, made it seem like we'd won freedom while you covered up our eyes. Why is there bloodshed every time I look around? When will it be legal to exist while being brown? I sing for the fallen and honor their lives. I stand with my people and will continue to rise. We're fighting to win, and when we will, you heard it straight from Capitol Hill. Dear black children of the future who are listening to these sounds, know that you are loved and proudly wear your crown. Promise.
So the song that I wrote recently, Promise, was inspired by the revolution, this most recent one, and I felt so strongly about the things that are happening now that I was compelled to write something, and it just came to me. Like, I can't sit down and force myself to write a song that does not just come out like that. And so I've had the opportunity to play music throughout this time since the marches began and everything, and whether I'm playing the trumpet in the march or whether I'm playing guitar at a rally, a lantern vigil, it's been nice because that is what I feel my purpose is. And I feel that music offers healing and comfort and understanding. So that's my contribution to this movement and to this world. The last song I have for you is a song that I wrote about perspective. So I was at Gasworks Park in Seattle at nighttime, and I was looking across the water, and I could see all the tiny little cars and the lights just coming through. And that was the first time that I realized it's a small place. It's a little city, and this is called Little City. So, actually I'll say a few more words on that. So what that taught me is that, you know, things can seem so massive in an intimidating way, but when you take a step back and you look at it from afar, you see that it's not that way. You can see that there's hope and that you can, period. You can be. This is Little City. Buildings melting into moving glass, and I wonder what could come of this. Sitting high above the dewy grass, and for once it doesn't seem so big. Ooh. Little city from the lakeside, I'll be watching from the hilltop tonight. Quiet city from the outside. What a view, what a view, what a view. Floating in my head are many questions, and I realize you're just a reflection of a black rippling mirror, like something in a dream. How trippy can this really be? Little city from the lakeside, I'll be watching from the hilltop tonight. Quiet city from the outside, you're miles and miles of view. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Buildings melting into moving glass, and I wonder what could come of this. And that was Little City. To me, activism is something that comes from within and is shown outwardly. So putting your money where your mouth is, putting your actions where your words are, for something you really care about, such as equitable justice. That's what I fight for Black lives and Indigenous lives. Activism is putting in that work and every day occupying all lanes, which means sending emails, making calls, talking to city officials, having conversations with community members, listening to stories. Listening is a big part of it. And I think a lot of times when people think of activism, they forget the listen part. They think do, but you must listen, process, think, and then act. And acting and action is what makes the change. So activism is just that to me. Sunday to me is a day of rest. It's a day of recovery. It's a day of renewal. I feel like when it's Sunday, it's still the weekend, but it's also the week beginning. And I just feel like on Sunday I want to, focus in on my energy and just check in so I can keep going for the rest of the week. So yeah, Sunday brings hope, new energy, ideas. Sunday is a rest day. I love Sunday. If you would like to contact me, you can visit my website at www.classicelishamusic.com. There's a little contact form. I'm also on Instagram at Classic Elisha. That's ClassicElisha. Also Twitter. And yeah, so that's the best way to contact me. And coming up, it's interesting these days because protesting every day, so I never know really what's going on. But I march weekday mornings in Seattle, 8 a.m. morning march, so you can find us at Morning March Seattle on Instagram. And yeah, find me out there in Seattle on the streets.
Thank you so much, Elisha. Her voice is so smooth and beautiful, and her advocacy is so inspiring. Music and art are such important ways of every movement. So shout out to all the creators out there. I know that's a really big job to do. So usually for Sunday Sermon, there's a Black ice cream business highlighted. But today we are highlighting my business, Black Coffee Northwest. So I'm the president, or one of the presidents, of Black Coffee Northwest, which will be located in Shoreline, Washington. Again, aka Mini Europe, for those who were here earlier. It's in the North End, and so there's basically no Black-owned businesses there, period. And so our vision is to make a Black coffee shop, which is more than coffee. It will be a community hub where Black people can just hang out. There will be poetry nights and art nights and stuff like that, and it will highlight Black owned businesses from other places, like chocolate businesses, stuff like that. And so yeah, it's activism in a cup. So we're gonna have melanin mocha in the Karen special, which is a white chocolate mocha. And so again, we're gonna be located in Shoreline, where One Cup Coffee formerly was, and we're trying to open by October 1st, but we do need you guys' help in our Kickstarter. So thank you guys so much. All right, so next up is Elena from the Wilderness Society. Take it away.
Hi there, my name is Elena Arakaki, tuning in from the traditional land of the Duwamish people, past and present, also known as Seattle. I'm the Urban to Wild coordinator at the Wilderness Society. The theme of today's Sunday sermon is activism, so I'd like to share a little bit about our advocacy work around public lands and access to nature. The Wilderness Society is a national nonprofit dedicated to protecting public lands, and one of our main priorities is ensuring that all people benefit equitably from public lands. The program that I work on, Urban to Wild, brings nature's benefits closer to home. Our goal is to provide access to nature for everyone, no matter your background. We do our work through 3 Ps: policy, programs, and partnerships. Locally, we have advocated for the Land Conservation Initiative, which protects 65,000 acres throughout King County, and have supported the work of the Open Space Equity Cabinet, which makes sure that investments go to places that need them the most, and that the people who live in those communities are part of those decisions. We support programs that get people outside and connect them with nature, like King County's Trailhead Direct program, which takes people from the city to hundreds of miles of hiking trails on the bus. And none of this would be possible without our amazing partners who are doing great work to advocate for equitable access to nature and create opportunities for people to safely experience public lands. I love spending time in my neighborhood parks to get some fresh air, maybe bring a book, and enjoy the beautiful summers we have. I also love parks because they are a great example of a free public space that anyone can enjoy.
People come here to exercise, socialize, clear their heads, and even practice their democracy. Multiple Black Lives Matter protests and marches here in Seattle started or ended in parks, and these places will continue to be used as community gathering spaces. Everyone deserves access to quality parks near their home, and everyone has a role to play in caring for these places. So how can you get involved? One of the most important things we can do for the environment and for environmental justice is to vote. Voting is such a powerful form of advocacy, and you can register to vote or check your registration status through the link in the chat. Another thing you can do is follow the hashtag #RecreateResponsibly and check out the website recreateresponsibly.org to get tips on how to be outdoors safely during the pandemic and do your part to keep our parks clean and welcoming for all of us. And finally, Public Lands Day is coming up next Saturday, the 26th. Celebrate by visiting your favorite park or trail, and don't forget to take a look at those Recreate Responsibly tips. For me, activism means getting engaged in a cause greater than myself. It means working towards systemic change so everyone can live safe, happy, and healthy lives. What does activism mean to you?
All right, thanks, Elena. So during Sunday Sermon, we also want to take a moment to highlight nonprofits that are doing the work in our community. And so I personally would like to highlight Black Minds Matter. This is a group of a fellow amazing Black youth in Seattle who are changing the game in activism in their community. So please support them and follow their socials at blackminds.matter on Instagram. We have dropped their donation link in the chat, and we'll make sure that to shout it out at the end of the event. All right, next up we have an interview between licensed mental health counselor Jennifer Elve and the organizer of this event, Siobhan. All right, take it away.
I am here with Jennifer Elve, a licensed therapist,
mental health counselor,
to talk about mental health in the time of COVID and the time of the multiple uprisings. So I'd like to hear other folks that introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about you.
Jennifer Elve. I am a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of state of Washington. I'm originally from Florida. Sometimes I get it mixed up. I am also a geriatric mental health specialist, meaning that I have a degree in gerontology and I work predominantly with older adults. So I work at a community agency predominantly during the day, working with older adults over the age of 60 who are working on their mental health in any way that they need. And then in the evening, I have my own private practice where I work predominantly with young Black and brown individuals in the community.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get into mental health?
Well, basically since I've been 19, I've been working in some form of community mental health. It started actually in juvenile probation. My first job was at an intake facility that would, if a child was arrested, they were brought there. I had to process them. Even though I was getting a degree in gerontology, sometimes you work where you need to work. And so I did that for a few years, and then I decided it was time to go back for my master's degree. So by doing that, I decided that I wanted to get some more understanding about mental health. I kind of knew the system. I kind of felt like I understood social work in a sense, but I didn't understand the mental health aspect of things. So I wanted to go back to do that. And so in getting my degree in clinical mental health counseling, I felt like I could facilitate the work better by understanding a lot more. And so that's kind of when I went back to school. But I feel like when I really wanted to when I decided that this was the right field for me was while I was in grad school, we took a family trip. I'm of Haitian descent. So we took a family trip to Cap Haitian with my family. And I was talking to one of my cousins that lived there, right? And so we were talking about, what do you do in America? What is your job? A lot of them understand doctor, nurse, lawyer. Children of immigrants understand these words a lot. But I was trying to explain what mental health and the work I do is, and I couldn't find the word. I couldn't explain it. I kept kind of saying it in circles, like making a full description of it, but nobody understood it.
Right.
I turned to my mom and I was like, Mom, can you explain it? Maybe you know the word I know. And then my mom like kind of paused, even herself. She's been in America 20 years. She knows what mental health is, but she even paused, and the closest word she could come with was, it's advoca, which if you pronounce it, it kind of sounds like advocate, which is the word, the closest they could come. But in Haiti, an advocate is often known as a lawyer. So there was no clear word for that. And for me, that kind of like really resonated with me. It kind of made it very clear that there is something lacking within understanding within the community, with especially in America, there's already the stigma, but also in other countries, there's a bigger issue. So that kind of really said that I need to keep doing this. I need to get this degree. I need to work in it, and I need to like help my community as a whole learn these terms, learn these words, and learn how to work with individuals who are going through some mental health complications at the moment. Yeah. So I think that's kind of why I became a mental health therapist.
That's fantastic. Awesome. I'm amazed. And I want to just talk about community. You know, you said the community, some of our community as Black folks, we don't even have the terminology. We don't have the words. Like, how, as the people are watching this, what recommendations or what tools or resources could you share that like gets us in the direction of even knowing words?
One of the first things I can say is ask your family for help. A lot of people struggle with stigma, and so they won't even ask the people in their household, like, and tell them something is wrong. It's almost like this persona that I'm okay, nothing is wrong, but you go in your room and you cry. Or you almost struggle every day to pull yourself out of bed. It's kind of things like that that I notice tends to be the first indications that things are not well. And then you don't say anything to your family. If you're lucky enough, you live with them, but if you live in your own apartment, as most independent people do, sometimes you lose connections with some people. So if you can't ask your family, I feel like there's commercials about like mental health things. There are things talk to your primary care about. Your primary care will generally then redirect you to a community agency, even if you didn't know to go to a community agency. So talk to your doctor. Older adults tend to go to their doctor consistently. They may not go to anybody else, but they're going to go to their doctor. So you can talk to your doctor if you feel that connection. I always encourage you to try to find a doctor that you feel like you could say what you need to. I do understand in Seattle there aren't that many Black and brown there doctors, therapists, anything like that.
And they are booked out for years.
Yes, they are.
Trust me,
they are. They are. But most doctors, mindless of the color, can direct you to a community agency, because at some point they may not even know how to help you. So then it becomes psychiatric by their definition, and then they will redirect you. So if you do get that referral, don't take it as I'm crazy, so to speak, or I just need to pray about it and it'll come about. Prayer is wonderful. I do believe in a spiritual support, but I do believe that the universe puts things out there for you to also use the other tools in the world. So we can pray and we can still take our pill. So we can do the P's and the P's.
Prayer and pills. I'm here for it.
And talking.
I'm here for it. And talking.
Yes.
Talking.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
All of them.
All of them combined.
Exactly. And I we're out here at this beautiful Washington State Park. Shout out to your brother who went swimming today. What's up, Dylan? You as a mental health professional, how does nature play into how your being or your practice?
I grew up in like North Miami, and I didn't necessarily have much nature. There's the beaches and stuff, but we do know with systemic racism that oftentimes Black and brown communities are like in the center of the city, like an hour and a half away from something. And so the beach wasn't a common thing. Like, you had to plan the beach. So we wouldn't always go. And honestly, I couldn't remember I was trying to think if there were like parks I went to growing up and things like that. I don't even really remember that. It wasn't until I moved to Washington that I really started getting into nature, because there are so much public lands, and it's such an area where you could be in the water in one moment and 5 minutes later in a mountain. So I think that's kind of what slowly started me really connecting to nature within my personal life. And through the statistics and the information, we understand that having access to nature, access to parks, access to outdoor spaces have been proven to increase coping for mental illness and making you feel better and reducing depression and anxiety. So I think that's why I kind of continue to reiterate it as much as possible, especially in the summer, because we know the weather changes here. I encourage older adults to take a walk as much as they can. It's a use it or lose it possibility, especially if ailments continue to come. We want to kind of at least try to walk as much as possible. Access to community, access to parks, access to things. I even recently found out that they were giving out free Discover passes to low-income families in the area. And so kind of pointing out that there are resources here to connect to nature and to kind of reground yourself a little bit. There is something about taking the time to sit with yourself in nature that is so in tune with the concept of mindfulness in terms of mental health, and helping you to kind of take a breath and connect to yourself. And so that's why I encourage it as much as possible.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Okay, so since we're here, what's been your favorite outdoor experience this summer?
This summer, well, as we spoke about my brother, he's visiting from Coral Springs, Florida also, and just today he went swimming in a lake in his underwear, just because he could, so we went paddle boarding. He had a great time doing that. We went kayaking. Earlier in the summer, some friends of mine, we went to the cabins at not Ross Lake. It was out in the Olympics. I'm drawing a blank right now.
I think there is a Ross Lake.
Not the Ross Lake. It was a different one.
Okay.
It was a lake, and there was cabins, and we stayed in the cabins, and they were waterfront, so you could see the water.
Oh,
and then
nice.
we grilled our own food. We had some wine.
Oh,
We enjoyed ourselves.
That's also mental health.
It's also mental health. You are allowed to take care of yourself. And so we did that, and then we also went hiking at the Olympics. We did, I'm drawing a blank on the trail also, I apologize, but we did that. And so between those two experiences this summer, it's been amazing for me. I do like the opportunity to get out in nature, but I love the opportunity to get out in nature with people that you care about. There's no TV, there's no phones, we have limited Wi-Fi. We can't put it all on the gram, we just gotta be there for it. You can put it on the gram later,
Right.
But you just have to be in it. And you have to kind of, it also reiterates, do I like these people? Are these my friends? Are these the people that I want to spend time with?
Yeah.
If you have nothing else to distract yourself, you gotta ask yourself, do you really like these people?
Right.
Turns out I do like them.
That's awesome.
So stuff like that. Like this summer, there's been struggles obviously with COVID and the uprisings and whatnot, but there is the opportunity to have access, and that's been a wonderful experience for me.
Right. Well, speaking of the COVID.
The COVID. It is the COVID. Okay.
COVID and the recent uprisings. What are any tips that you would give folks that are watching right now to take care of themselves during this time, their mental health?
I do encourage going outdoors, taking a walk, some form of physical activity. You don't have to be running a marathon, but if you could walk around the block, that's a start. I encourage talking to your supports. I know Zoom isn't the best way to talk to people, but it is some way to talk to people. And just regular phone calls. But one of the things I noticed at the beginning of the COVID, around March, there was a lot of this this idea that if you're not using this time to create a hustle, you're failing or something. There was so much of that in the beginning a lot. Like, you're supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be grinding, you're supposed to be running, you're supposed to be surviving too.
Amen.
So I think what I found to be helpful was, if you are maintaining, that is okay also. There's this therapist by the name of Christine Neff, and she does a lot of work on self-compassion versus like self-esteem. And so there's almost this emphasis that being average is not okay within society. You got to be better, you got to be grinding, you got to be doing this, you got to be doing that. But this idea that being average or maintaining is a problem, and then that creates more levels of insecurity and lower self-esteem and all this struggle. Because if we look at it, self-esteem is measured by other external factors, whereas just your internal self-compassion is about how you feel about yourself in measures. And so I think for me, in terms of this whole thing to maintain, is giving yourself some self-compassion. Talking to yourself like if it was your best friend talking to you. Talk your mother, your father, your grandmother, your auntie, whoever is like your support. Talk to yourself like they are talking to you, and try to receive it, because it's okay to just be okay. It's okay to get up like you're going to the office, and even if you're working from home, just kind of give yourself that level of kindness and whatnot, because it also helps you. Trying to be kind to yourself helps you to connect with yourself even more a bit. It's about interconnectedness by learning how to do that. And even learning how to be nicer to yourself helps you to be more empathetic to the world. We need a bit more of that. I think if people learned a little bit more about being kinder to themselves, they would be kinder to other individuals. People they don't know, people that are in the community, people that look different than them, people that are Black, people that are Asian, the natives. All that would happen if you learn to be kinder to yourself and less critical.
Right. Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, like let's all do that.
Let's all do
like,
that.
I was just taking it in. I thought you were talking to me, so I was receiving. I have another question for you.
Go ahead.
This particular day is about activism, and I just think, how does that play out in your work?
I think by definition, as a mental health professional, you are an activist a bit. When I was thinking about activism, I was like, I'm not a protester. I acknowledge that about myself. My nervous system cannot handle the crowds, the intensity, the possibility of all that happens. So I acknowledge that about myself. But I also don't feel like I feel like if you don't do that, are you not an activist? There are many ways to be an activist, because the concept of activism to me is doing something intentionally to help the world for the bigger picture. Like, you're not buying secondhand clothes because it's cheaper for you. You're buying secondhand clothes because you don't enjoy the mass production of how we make clothes in America, how much water is used to make jeans, things like that. That's even an activism choice.
Right.
I remember a couple years ago I was a vegetarian, and it started from me seeing how chickens were treated, and I was like, nope, I'm not eating that no more. And so even that choice to kind of slow down my ecological footprint, so to speak, is an activism choice. I think there can be there's a million ways, I think, to be an activist. You don't have to be this one way. You can have your own causes, but if you can look at it, if you can do it intentionally, mindfully, and look at the grander picture of it, then you can be an activist. Even my work in mental health, I feel like, is a form of activism, because if I help you become a better person, or if I help you become a stable person, I don't always like to say better, if I come help you become a stable person, or a person that's more comfortable within their own skin, imagine what you could do for the world yourself. Imagine like how you pay it forward. It's a matter of paying it forward a little bit. So I think that's what I think of in terms of activism, is that you can be an activist in many ways.
Awesome.
My name is Jennifer Elve. My website is elevatedcounselingandwellness.com. I'm currently offering teleservices, and I'm licensed in Washington, and I am able to do teleservices in Florida also. So best way to reach me is directly through my website, through an email.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Jennifer. Today was so inspiring. Talking to my fellow youth activists and hearing their stories to learning about mental health and hearing some soothing music. This has been great for me, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. So we are just at the end of the show. And remember to support the youth in your life that want to start their business or start a business. Whatever it is that they are interested, just make sure that you're supporting them. I want to thank my parents and my community for supporting me and Black Coffee Northwest. I also want everybody here to support Black Lives Matter, Black Minds Matter, and I hope that you join them as well. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Conservation Northwest, the Wilderness Society, Washington Trails Association, Seattle Abudan, National Endowment for the Arts, Washington State Parks Foundation, and the Washington State Parks. As we close, I want to thank Allison, Sadella, Kaylin, Elisha, Jennifer, and Elena for sharing their talents and their passions with us today. I want to thank the team that helped make this happen. Monica, Kiwi, Brandon, Siobhan, and Mikayla. Today has just been a great day for activists and just a great day for me seeing the outdoors and stuff like that. I know I haven't been able to see the outdoors in real life, but just seeing it over Zoom has actually been quite soothing. So the next Sunday sermon is coming up on October 4th, y'all. We are going to be celebrating food, so don't miss it. RSVP and grab your ticket now. Don't forget to fill out the survey and be entered into a chance to win a Discover Pass. And we are going to end with a throwback performance from Northside Step Team. Yes, I'm in that too. So yep, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday for another Sunday sermon where we celebrated Black activism and hopefully you guys enjoyed ice cream. All right, guys, see you later. Signing out. Bye.